What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a kick-ass freaking day today. Today is Thursday. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope you had a very enjoyable 4th of July. But I always said, if you have questions, I'll answer them. Or at least try my best to answer those. And on a video the other day, Power Stroke Ford 96. This was 18 hours ago, he asked me. Or she, I'm not sure, but they asked me, can you talk about what prison and jail was like? Any stories? Where did you go? Like I always said, I will tell you anything you want to know. If I can answer it, I will tell you. So, let's see, where can we start? Let's see. We're going to start with, let's just say where I went, okay? Prison-wise, my two federal, well, I went to after county jail. Well, I tell you what, I'm sorry. Let's start over. Let's start when I got arrested and arraigned and all that stuff for the bank. Okay. When I was arrested, I went to Grant County, Kentucky. I went to Grant County Jail. I would tell you guys, if you've never been, you know, you'll always hear horror stories about jails and prisons and all that. They're not all like that. You know, what you see on TV and what you see in person, some similar, yes, but they're not all like what you see on TV. They're not all, you know, made that way. You know, there's some fucked up places, don't get me wrong. There's some fucked up stuff, but they're not all like that. But Grant County, like I'd been in numerous jails and I didn't do any lengthy time before this. I did, you know, a lot of overnighters, a lot of ORs, own recognizance, you know, getting let out on my own recognizance. 2, 3, 4 days. I think 5 days was the most I'd ever done consecutive without, you know, actually being sentenced, you know, like anything hardcore, like this stupid fucking bank I did. Stuff like that. But Grant County, when I went there, you know, I went in and like I said, I'd been to jail, but I hadn't been to jail. You know, I always knew when I was leaving before this one. And Grant County, dude, I'm telling you, it sucked. People that ever hear, like, ask any person that's been in prison and been to county jail. Ask them which one was worse. And I guarantee you, every one of them will tell you county jail was worse. County jail sucks. It actually sucks. Like in Grant County, I was in a pod, a room with, I think we had 12, 13, 14 people in there. You know, you go in, you had 2 tables, then you had bunks that went all the way around the room, bunk beds. And then over in the far corner, there was a bathroom plus shower. That was all in one. But county jail was horrible, dude. Like, I remember the food every morning. You would either get breakfast in prison and in county jail is not much different. You know, in both, our main breakfast was cereal and oatmeal. So you get one or the other on whatever day it was scheduled. But the county jail, the cereal and stuff is just generic Rice Krispies or Corn Flakes, stuff like that. You didn't get anything. You didn't get any Captain Crunch. You didn't get any Lucky Charms. You got Special K, Corn Flakes, Rice Krispies. Is the 3 that I remember that stands out. And you'll get a cup of milk, just a little plastic cup. And it's not like you go to the store and get a gallon of milk and pour in there. This was warm powdered milk that you had to put in your cereal. And it's, God, I'll never forget the milk. Ugh. But anyway, and in my jail during my time is we was 24-hour lockdown. You know, except for 3 days a week, we got an hour for rec, which the rec in this county jail, it's not like you went and you had gyms and libraries or arcades or anything good. You had a concrete it was outside. The roof was covered, and I think it was fenced. Yeah, it was fenced. Fence link up top, and then concrete walls, and it had one basketball goal. That was your rec yard. That's all you had. And we used to go. Like I said, we'd have it. I think it was Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. I think. Excuse me. I believe that was our days. Either way, we had 3 hours a week. 1 hour a day, 3 days a week, and you get to play basketball or stand there and talk just to get out of the cell and get a little bit of fresh air. But ours was always at night, so it's not like we went out during the daytime and saw sunlight. We still saw darkness, and if it rained, you just didn't go. So on those rec days, you pray to God there was no rain. And when you're in there, and I say rain, and it's starting to rain here right now, yay! But what was I saying? Oh yeah, the rec is, you'd play basketball, and I've always been an athletic person. I've played sports I played basketball, football, baseball, and stuff my whole life. I love sports, and it was kind of my way, and a couple other guys that I was in the cell with. It was our aggression release, because yes, there was a lot of fights, but in my pod there wasn't too many fights. There was a lot of arguments. No one's ever wrong if you're in jail. You're always right, no matter what the situation is. You know best, you're right, you're going to argue your point. But like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of fights in my pod through my time there. But we'd have basketball, we'd go for rec, and we'd play ball. And me and two other guys that were in there, it was, one guy was this black guy, he's like 6 foot tall maybe, and I'm 6'3", 220. And then this other guy, who was like maybe 5'9", but he ate steroids every single morning for breakfast. He didn't eat cereal, he just took spoonfuls of steroids. This little man was a monster. I mean, his arms was like that big around, and he was like pure concrete. But really cool guy. They always talk about roid rage. I didn't see it, and I don't want to see it with this dude. He was huge. But anyway, we would play ball. Us three, we had this understanding. It's kind of an aggression release time, that we would just beat the shit out of each other playing ball. We're not calling fouls, but we knew what we was doing. We wasn't doing it to fight, to put any. It was just a release method. Is pretty much what we called it. What we did is we would whoop the shit out of each other, but it was just to release some built up tensions and anger and everything else. Because when you're in county jail, man, county jail, I'm telling you, sucks. But I was like I said, okay, now let's go to how or where I went. Okay, so I was at Grant County the first time. I got sentenced the very next day. I got shipped to a place called Grayson County, Kentucky. And what Grayson County is, it's another county jail, but it's like a federal holdover. Is if you're in Kentucky, and if you're not going to a prison in Kentucky, well, yeah, some of them did, I take that back. But 90% of the people that went to Grayson County in federal lockup was getting shipped to a different state. And like with me, I was in Grayson County, I think for 6 or 8 months, somewhere like that. Grayson County sucked, but it was better than Grant County. The food was better. They'd order you pizzas, like once a month, and we'd all have like Little Caesars or Papa John's, especially if there was a big sporting event going on. Like, I know I was in there during March Madness, NCAA tournament, basketball tournament, and we got pizzas, large pizzas delivered into our cell, which was super cool. Christmas time, there was a church that came in and brought like socks and candies and just pencils or pens and papers, or pencils and papers, stuff like that, for all the inmates, which was really cool. Because yes, inmates did something, prisoners did something to get themselves where they are, but they're still human beings. Except for Chad Bitch. He's a bitch. He's not human. He needs to die immediately. But, you know, prisoners are still human beings. And they still have rights. And they still have, you know, emotions and feelings and stuff that needs to be addressed and taken care of at some point. You know, I'm not saying we need to be coddled, you know, when you're in prison, in jail. But people need to understand that is still a human being with a heartbeat and a pulse that is behind that cell. You know, but anyway, you know, we would get these churches come in and do stuff like that. And the food at Grayson County, amazing. Especially dinner. Like, the way we was served is we would have our own tray or our own bowl that we kept with us at all times. And it's something that we'd order off our commissary list. But, you know, if you didn't have a bowl or whatever, they would bring you a tray, and you would get a tray, and then an hour or so later they'd come pick it all up. But when they come to pick it up, like, I remember I loved soup beans and cornbread. And on soup bean day, they would bring all the food, and they would come back and pick up all the food. But if you had a bowl and they had leftovers, they would give you more soup beans, which was cool as shit. You know, because no matter, you gotta eat, you know. But, you know, so anyway, I went from Grant County to Grayson County. And then I woke up, or they woke me up, because you also need to remember, anybody that's getting transferred in prison never knows, prison or jail, never knows when they're going or where they're going, anything like that, for safety precautions. Because you get some douchebag calls his friends and like, hey, I'm leaving Thursday at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, and then there's a raid and there's violence and everything else, and they're trying to break them out. So you'll never know when you're leaving or where you're going. So I got woke up one morning and they was like, pack it up. And so I went and I went and was checking all my stuff in, and they handed me my street clothes, which I'll never forget. It was a pair of jeans, my tennis shoes, and a t-shirt is what I had on that day. And they gave me those clothes that I was arrested in from the FBI back in May of 06. And I put them on, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, am I going home? Are they taking me to the house? But no, they wouldn't. No. I got on a plane and I went to Oklahoma. Oklahoma in federal prison ways is a place, it's a hub that you'll go to. It's a huge prison that everyone goes to, and then from that spot they get sent on to their final destinations. I hate saying it, final destination, like they're going to die, but what prisons they're supposed to go to, we'll put it that way. But I was there for like 6 or 8 weeks, and it was weird, but it was fine. There wasn't any fights or arguments, any tensions. There's a lot of card playing, a lot of TV watch. The one thing that did suck is I had a cellmate who was this guy. I think his name was Brian, but he was blind. All right, he was blind. Can't see. You see that? He couldn't. And the craziest thing is, we was talking one day, and he asked me what I was arrested for, and I told him, and I said, what are you in for? And he said, I got caught dealing drugs. I'm like, hold the fuck up. You're a drug dealer. I was like, you're blind. I was like, you had to lose profit all the time. I mean, how are you going to weigh out some weed or some cocaine or whatever? You're blind. But, you know, so that just completely threw me off. But this guy, his sister or girlfriend, whatever, a female, I remember that, would weigh everything out for him. And he could tell what he was doing by feel. But anyway, I was in there with him, and that was just a weird scenario altogether. But then I went from Oklahoma, I went to Pennsylvania. God, I can't remember the prison. It's a maximum security prison. It's an old ass prison. I remember it. Like, you could just see the mice running around all the time. But that was just a stop. I was only there for a few days. And then I went to Cumberland, Maryland. Cumberland, Maryland, I was there for, I think, a year or something like that. And then that's when I got into a little altercation with a guy. And in the rec yard, in the rec hall, you know, we could play pool and stuff. And I had a problem with this guy, and he had a problem with me. And I didn't like what he said. He didn't like what I said. We had words. I took a pool ball, and I hit him upside the head with it. And then that's how I got put in a hole for 93 days. And then got transferred to Farrington, New Jersey. So, and then, but at another video, we'll talk about the actual prison itself. But the guy that asked me the question in the comments, if I would talk about, you know, the county jails, prisons, you know, any experiences. Trust me, I have all kinds of experiences with prison. I mean, I do. But the county jails sucks. So when you ever hear, if you know somebody and you've never asked them and you're cool with them, that's been in jail and prison and all that, just ask them. Say, hey, what was better? What did you enjoy more, prison or county jail? I guarantee you they're going to tell you prison. County jail sucks. And you're on constant lockdown. You can't do nothing. You're in there with a group of guys that's just sitting around, burping, farting, snoring. And you got one shower, one toilet, one sink, and one little bitty ass TV. But you know, that's my opinion of county. Now, federal prisons, you know, I had everything. I had Walkmans, I had gyms, had pool tables, had air hockey. We had air hockey in our rec yard. In our rec, in the yard, we had a big hall that had that. We had everything. It was great. You know, we had baseball fields, football fields, everything, weight rooms, or weights on the yard. So, prison to me is so much better, and it still sucks. I'm not saying I want to go. I'm not saying, hey, let's go on vacation. Let's go to prison. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that county jails suck. And now, I don't remember that dude's name. Is Andrew something? I'm sorry. Hold on, guys. I got to look this name up again. Power Stroke 496. That's my opinion of jails and prison. County jail sucks. Prison sucks, but is better than county jail. In the next couple videos, I know I'm going to talk about food. You know, the stuff that we got in prison, food-wise. Commissary, what we made, what we didn't make, what they served us. You know, prices of stuff. You know, and jobs, and what we did, and what I did as side hustles, and what other side hustles that's in prisons. So I'm going to talk about that in next couple videos. So guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, turn that notification bell on. I'm enjoying this, telling you guys about my stupid ass history, you know, and I love all your comments and your responses and your support and your hate and everything else. So keep them coming, guys. I'll keep the videos coming. Power Stroke 496. I hope that answered any of your questions. And again, like I said, I will get into more detail when, you know, in the next video or two. But guys, thank you guys so much. Enjoy. If I don't have a video tomorrow on Friday, enjoy your weekend. Relax. Party legally. Party, you know, grill out, sail, swim, do whatever you want to do, but have fun and be safe doing it. You all have a kick-ass freaking day.